In a canyon, in a cavern, excavating for a mine, dwelt a miner, 49er, and his daughter Clementine. Light she was, and like a feather, and her shoes were number 9. Herring boxes without topses, sandals were for Clementine.
On January 19, 1848, just 2 weeks before the signing of the peace treaty between Mexico and the United States, James W. Marshall discovered gold at Sutter's Mill in the South Fork of the American River. The discovery touched off a wild rush to the California gold fields. Men left families, farms, and businesses to search for the precious yellow metal. Ships carried the news to Oregon, Hawaii, Mexico, Chile, and Peru. By 1849, 1 out of every 4 gold seekers was from a foreign country. When word finally reached the eastern seaboard, Americans left for California on every available ship. In the 2-month period from December 1848 to January 1849, 178 ships sailed from the East Coast around Cape Horn, headed for California, a journey of 18,000 miles that took from 5 to 8 months. The first of the Gold Rush songs was written by John Nichols in 1848 on board the ship Eliza. The song was "O California," a parody of Stephen Foster's newly popular "O Susanna."
I sail from Salem City with my washbowl on my knee. I'm going to California, the gold dust for to see. It rained all night the day I left, the weather it was dry. The sun so hot I froze to death, oh brothers don't you cry. Oh California, that's the land for me. I'm going to San Francisco with my washbowl on my knee. I soon shall be in Frisco, and there I'll look around. And when I find the gold lumps there, I'll pick them off the ground. I'll scrape the mountains clean, my boys, I'll drain the rivers dry. A pocket full of rocks bring home, oh brothers, don't you cry. Oh California, that's the land for me. I'm going to San Francisco with my washbowl on my knee.
Wait for the music, wait for the music, wait for the music, and we'll all have a dance.
Old women in their bloomer rigs are fond of balance all, and weighty when it comes to jigs and so on at the ball. A yearling miss fills out the set, although not very tall. I'm anxious now, she says, you bet, to proceed with the ball.
Wait for the music, wait for the music, wait for the music, and we'll all have a dance.
A married woman, gentle dove with nary tooth at all, sits in the corner making love to a stranger at the ball. The Spanish hags of ill repute for brandy loudly call, and no one dares their right dispute to
On January 24, 1848, James Marshall set off early and alone to inspect progress in deepening the ditch that channeled water from the sawmill back to the river. Suddenly, he bent over and picked up a few particles gleaming in the icy water. "Hey, boys, by God, I believe I found a gold mine," he called out, walking toward the mill hands. The men ran to meet him. One seized a flake, bit it, and when the metal did not break, yelled, "Gold, boys, gold!" After they had further tested the metal by boiling it in lye and beating it thin, the men were convinced that Marshall had found gold.
Life in the mining camps was not easy. The work was hard, the food terrible, and sleeping accommodations uncomfortable. After a grueling day's work, the evening was usually taken up with heavy drinking and gambling. The combination of homesickness, mixed ethnic and racial groups, heavy drinking and gambling resulted in frequent fights and killings.
I'm old Tom Moore, a bummer sure, of the good old golden days. They call me a bummer and a gin sot too. What care I for praise? I wander around from town to town, just like a rambling sign. The people all say there goes Tom Moore of the days of '49. In the days of old, in the days of gold, how oft times I repine. In the days of old when we dug up the gold, in the days of '49. My comrades, they all loved me well, a jolly saucy crew. A few hard cases I will admit, though they were brave and true. Whatever the pinch, they never would flinch, never would fret or whine. Like good old bricks, they stood the kicks in the days of '49. There was old lame Jess, a hard old cuss, he never did repent. He was never known to miss a drink or ever spend a cent. But old lame Jess, like all the rest, to death he did resign, and in his bloom went up the flume in the days of '49. In the days of old, in the days of gold, how oft times I repine. In the days of old when we dug up the gold, in the days of '49. There was New York Jake, the butcher's boy. He was always getting tight, and every time that he'd get full, he was looking for a fight. Then Jake rampaged against a knife in the hands of old Bob Sine, and over Jake we held awake in the days of '49. There was Rag Shag Bill from Buffalo, I never will forget. He would roar all day and he'd roar all night, and I guess he's roaring yet. One night Bill fell in a prospect hole in a roaring bad design, and in that hole he roared out his soul in the days of '49.